What happens when life hits you blow for blow and the storms seem never ending? Yet, instead of laying down and giving up, letting your storms consume you, you remain steadfast, finding the willpower, the strength you didn't know existed, and the courage to keep pushing forward. That is perseverance. How you respond to your circumstances is key. Welcome to the basics of perseverance. Good night, good evening, great people. This is A Peace of Mind, and welcome to the Basics of Perseverance, where their story is your story coming to you raw and uncut. And without further ado, I would like to introduce my guest for this evening, Miss Jacquia Midgett. How you doing this evening?
Well, no complaints whatsoever. Yourself?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, and thank you for being on this evening. I know it's a
Absolutely.
Sunday, and you're supposed to be chilling and everything, getting ready for the week, but I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So let's start off with this that I start everybody off with. For those who do not know you, who are you as an individual?
I'm a mother. I am a daughter. I am a friend. I'm an artist. I'm a hard worker and recently a business owner.
Okay. So I got two questions right there. You said you're an artist. What type of art do you do?
Well, cooking, I'm a self-proclaimed chef, my own little self, self-taught. Cooking is art. Um, Dance is art. I was born from an artist, period. My mother was a professional dancer. She majored in dance and music. She had her own dance studio many years. As I grew older, I developed a special love and a little affinity for West African dance and drum, and it has my heart, and it will continue to have my heart.
Okay. Okay. And you say you just started a business. What type of business?
I have a juice business. I sell cold pressed juices. I prepare them. I also deliver them on the weekend. And it's something that really helped me personally in my health journey to a better me. And many people would ask when I was at work, they would see I would come with the little mason jars of juice for the day. And they would say, you should sell those. People are down for stuff like that. So post COVID, I began working virtually and just brainstorming. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start my juice business. And
Okay.
the rest is history.
Okay, cool. You guys, her information is going to be down in the information section, so you can check that out at the end. So, I want to ask you a little bit about, when life breaks you. Sometimes we're hit with curveballs left and right. It's hard to duck and dodge them. We have to go straight through the storms. So,
Mhm.
when life happens, life breaks you. I mean, how do you handle it? Can you pinpoint a specific event in your life where life just tore you down and you felt like you wanted to give up, but then you dug deep down and you found that why that you kind of like persevered through and not give up. And what was that process like?
Absolutely. I can definitely pinpoint a time. And it would be when I had my son. I was raised in a Bible Belt. I'm originally from North Carolina. I
Okay.
was raised in an environment, in a very structured environment. Both parents in the household, they poured a lot of love into me, but there were some expectations that had been set. And having a child out of wedlock was definitely not one of them. So when that happened, things changed for me. Whereas in modern day and time, being a single mom right now, people really don't blink at that.
Yeah.
It's common. It's very much so common. But for me, in my family, in the arena that I was in, it was frowned upon, if you will. Um, and it was a pivotal moment in my life. Things changed for me. What got me through was support from friends and family, and also just digging my heels in deep, figuring out who I was and realizing that no matter what, I still had to raise my child. And the arts, I will say, helped me tremendously. Um,
Okay.
Drum really, really was healing for me.
Okay. Okay. I like that. That sounds good. Interesting. And you said it was showing the phone. So when you say showing the phone, I think of the church. Was it because it was a your family were heavily in the church, or
Yes, that did have, yeah, the religion
okay,
did have a part in it for sure.
okay,
But it wasn't just a religion. I just think it was that environment,
okay,
being in the Bible Belt. But definitely, I'm not going to lie, that did play a part. But I will say, good and bad and all, because even
yes,
within that, I still had a lot of people that reached out to me and support. But when you are hurting and when you are at the lowest point, when you do feel alone, sometimes you remember those things that really stung. And
mm-hmm.
my thing for as I progressed and as I evolved, as I said, I wanted to stop repeating those same stories of things that were painful and remember the people that were there and remember
Okay,
how I did overcome.
okay, that's
Yeah,
fair enough. So
yeah.
let's talk about seasons. Everything has a season to everything. There's a time, there's a season, and that includes people. You know, a lot of times you don't meet people by coincidence. And a lot of times, you have the people that are there for a short period of time, which is
Mm.
temporarily, and you have those that are there for a long period of time, which is a lifetime. Now, during their time there, they're either there to use you, abuse you, or they're there to help elevate you, guide you, or they're in your life for you to guide them, motivate, and elevate them. Have you ever found yourself carry along people that does not need to be in the current season, but you feel that you need to be that person, that friend that wants to carry them everywhere, but they're just baggage? Talk to me on that.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Hey! Woo!
That was one of them church. Hey.
Oh man, you said a mouthful there. That's a loaded question. But I will say absolutely, absolutely. Not to revert back to what you asked me previously, but it blends.
Yes.
In reference to me having Deontay out of wedlock and his father being absent completely, it did leave me with some separation anxiety, attachment issues, whatever, whatever. So when I bond with people and I create these relationships or friendships or whatever, I always give my all in expectation that they're going to give me the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Loving how you want to be loved, liking how you want to be liked. That's not necessarily the case because we all condition differently, have different backgrounds, belief systems, all of that.
Yes.
So yeah, I kind of hold on and see what I can do to really love on that person. I can be direct, blunt, and to the point, and sometimes a little bit too, a little abrasive. Some may even consider combative at times. But when I love, I really, really love.
Okay.
So yes, I have found myself trying to hold on to some things and people that really I need to separate from. And unfortunately, it happened not to sound cocky or conceited because I'm by no means small, but as my waistline got smaller and then I gained a bit of confidence and going to my own, I found people around me that are supposed to be close start acting a little funny. They felt like I was acting funny. And there has been a recent separation and some other things that have happened where it's just time, like you said, the season is over.
Yeah.
No, not one is wrong, right or wrong or indifferent, but it's just time to separate.
Yeah. That does make sense. I've noticed. I know with my last my last guest, we was talking about the season of having people and how like when you're starting to do good and you feel good about yourself and you carry yourself a certain way, your confidence in yourself, then you have those people that try to shy away. But sometimes those people that you want around are not necessarily the ones that need to be around you. So being that it's simultaneously separation. It's just opening up a path for new people to enter and stuff like that. So I understand. I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
So since we were talking about seasons and peoples, I'm gonna give you a combination of words, and then I want your thoughts on those words. So we have friends, trust, honesty, betrayal, deceit, loyalty.
Actually, even though I think a lot of people would say those don't belong in the same bucket,
Mm-hmm.
they actually can be in the same bucket. And the reason that I say that is because we are all imperfect, okay?
Correct.
And in order to love or receive love, be in love, whether that be friendship or romantic, that person is going to hurt you. You're going to hurt that person sometimes. And sometimes that person may perceive that to be betrayal, hurt, deceit. You told one of my secrets you shouldn't have told when they may have just been saying, hey, Keisha, you know what? She got caught up there. You know what she said, oh man, so and so and so. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good when we do that sometimes as girlfriends. I have may have been guilty, but if it's not with ill intent, you may not even be trying to betray that person. But if that's that person's, deep secret, they may feel like, hey, ooh, you shady.
Yeah.
So it can go into the same bucket, and I think we've all been affected. I've experienced it in my friendships, or my little sisters or whatever have you. We've all gone through things, but the main thing for me, how you can overcome and persevere, which is the subject at hand, is to talk about things and say, you know what, this is me. This is me. I will say, hey, you know what, Lyric? When I was telling you about what happened with my son and everything at the school, I was just talking to you. I did not tell you to go and tell Sue.
Yeah.
So why did you tell? Please don't do that moving forward. Love you and move forward.
Okay, that makes sense. So let me ask you this: have you ever found it hard to have that conversation with anybody? Have they been reluctant to listen? Do they get automatically offensive, or have you not had that happen?
I don't have a problem having difficult conversations, but that is because of my background and my upbringing. Okay. I was literally raised where, it was a very expressive environment. If you did something wrong, I was told that something was wrong. If I did something good, I was praised. So I realized that I carried that into my adulthood, and some people don't know how to receive that.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem having a difficult conversation. I don't have a problem receiving, constructive criticism. Okay. It might sting, but I look at the core message and be like, oh, she was right. I don't like what she said, but she was right. And what can I, take out of that? But yes, I will say on the other end, people are not always receptive, but sometimes that may be because of my delivery.
Okay.
Growth.
So, well, I think that's the problem with society. People sugarcoat too much. They're not direct. It's very rare that you find people that are direct and say what it is, and it's not with ill intent, but they just being real. I think that's also a good friend. If your friend can check you and you're not getting your feelings about it, that should be that should be acceptable. But I think the willingness when people are not open to listen or self-reflect. Have you ran into any people that had issues with self-reflecting? Do you self-reflect and yourself, check yourself? A lot of people check themselves. So talk to me if you had any scenarios where you had to be like, okay, I need to check myself. Let me sit back and see if there was anything I could have done different or so forth.
All the time. All the time. Yes, I will check myself in a minute. If I feel like I have harmed someone, or maybe I did hurt their feelings because I am, direct. Or, maybe I could have, not about sugarcoating, but you could be diplomatic and you could soften your tone and you could realize, also know your audience. Look at where that person is in life. What are they going through? So take all of that into consideration when you're having those difficult conversations. I've not always done that.
Okay.
Because I will say sometimes my trigger, if I'm triggered, I'm like, you know what? let me holler at you a minute. Let me tell you
yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Where you just take a breath. You see my little stuff in the background, I'm going on myself. Just take a little breath and say, hey, hey, stay calm, keep a calm voice and say, let's have a conversation. That's the adult thing to do.
Okay. So how do you dictate or determine who you allow in your inner circle, in your personal space, as in friends? How do you go about, do you get energy? I know with me, I get energies. I can feel a person energy before even opening up my mouth to them. Discernment, having sharp discernment, seeing red flags. So how do you determine who you want in your inner circle, who you allow in your personal space?
A couple of things. I do consider myself to have definitely like this grandma spirit of discernment. I've been called a grandma since I was, middle school, elementary. Used to call me back in the day. I was cutting up chicken. Always around. My mother always had me with her older friends while she did what she had to do, or either with my grandmother or aunties. So I've always had that way about myself. Very observant. There's not much like that old folks say. They say I didn't get dropped off the turnip truck last night. You got to get up very early in the morning to get one of those over there, and I get up early. So I will listen to you. I will observe how you navigate, how you move. Listen to how you talk about the people that you say you love. I will see if you're real slippery and greasy with your mouth with information. If you're always regurgitating something. If you're always chewing on other people, specifically women. If I'm around a woman or a group of women and all they're doing is tearing down other women, no, circle I don't want to be in, a friend that I don't want to have because you have issues with yourself.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's how I determine who I allow in.
Okay, I like that. That's a good answer. So let's talk a little bit about forgiveness. Forgiveness lifts a heavy load off of you. And a lot of people walk around with unforgiveness, but the person ain't even thinking about them that they haven't forgiven. So, can you pinpoint or say that you easily forgive? If not, how long does it take you to forgive somebody? And do you actually really forgive them? Like you can say, I forgive this person, but if they walk past you, like, how would you respond?
You might have stepped on my toes in kindergarten, and when you walk past, stepped on my toes in kindergarten and say sorry. No, that's a bit extreme, but in reference to forgiveness, I will say that is not a stronghold for me. As far as, I will say that I forgive, but if you believe in the Bible, whatever, it says don't keep account of injury. When I say I have files, when I say I have files going on in here,
oh man.
I know we had a little conversation, we squashed everything, but I still remember. I remember what you did. That's something I do struggle with. No lie. Okay. And it's something that I really, now that I'm moving with intention, I'm really learning and praying for guidance as to how to really release and let go, because it does literally, it bothers you, like you said. They're not thinking about it, they've forgotten about it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I can say at least you're acknowledging it, that's what you have that issue where it's hard for you. Like you still think about it, like you forgiving the person, but not totality, because it's still there. Like, yeah, I remember this and third. And there's nothing wrong with that. The first step is acknowledge it. So you did acknowledge it. I can't say that. Because some people,
I know my deficiencies. I do.
Some people won't even acknowledge it, and so and being that the fact that you're working on it is a good thing. That's part of your growth. So and it's not hard to. It's not easy. Let me change that. It's not easy to forgive people all the time. A lot of people, it takes longer than others. It's a process, and I guess it also depends on the degree of what that person has done. I think that's what it is for me. With me personally, it's the degree. It's levels to it, as we say.
It's levels to it. And I will say is, if you carry that type of behavior for a while, it's like you carrying, wounds that haven't healed. And for some person, it just might be like, oh, I just touched you right here, but if the wound hasn't healed, you might be saying, ouch. Because we're really sensitive to let all this crap pile up. And that's the reason why we should forgive.
Yeah. You guys work on that if you're having a hard time, because it can be stressful. It can make you sick, so one step at a time, one day at a time with it. So I want to talk to you about living in the past. A lot of times people live in the past for various reasons. It may have been they live in the past for their glory days, or they just may live in the past continuously, and they blame their past for their current circumstances and situation. Have you ever found yourself living in the past momentarily, or living in the past, or reverting and saying, oh, because this happened to me back here, this is why I can't do this right now? Talk to me a little bit about that, or your perspective on living in the past.
stay out of my head and stay out of my diary, Leonard. It's getting scary. This is getting scary. But yes, I have been guilty of living in the past, repeating the same stories. Um, which I promised myself I would never, I'm not going to continue to be a prisoner in my own head.
Okay.
But yes, I couldn't say, oh, because of what happened to me and me being a single mom, this and that is going to happen, and will I be able to do this? Will I be able to go places? Am I going to be able to buy a home after this happens? So and so. Yes, you can. You have to shift your mind, and that's exactly what I began to do when I literally began peeling the layers, all of when I was in my comfort zone and game, when I began just working on myself, consistently trying to eat better foods, pray, do well, give back to others. Those are things that really, really help me heal and to stop this pity party. You can't have a pity party for life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't be the victim,
Okay.
you know. So that's really what I had to work on. I said, you know what? This thing is not going to break me. It's not going to define me. I was born from greatness. I have to continue to move forward. I was given a life, a beautiful life. And so those are the things that you have to continue to remind yourself when you feel like life is just too much. You have to.
So you said something like you said, changing the mindset. The mindset is, man, if our culture of people, if they could just shift their mindset, it'd be so much better. The thought process, and like you was speaking some affirmations. You say you came from greatness. You started speaking affirmations, and I think the once a person shift their mindset, it goes in a different direction versus like you said complaining about everything, then everything's just gonna go downhill. But if you continue to speak those affirmations, I came from greatness, I am this, I am that, da da da, it shifts it. So I think a lot of people need to work on the mentality, their thought process.
No, agreed, agreed.
How have you handled someone that has been in that mind frame or always complaining, saying because of this, they throw a pity party for themselves and they want you to throw a pity party with them? How have you handled individuals like that, if any?
I will start with having that conversation. I feel as though at this point in time, you are having a pity party. I feel like you are playing the victim. But I feel like, but I will also counteract that with all of the positive, all of the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, glows versus grows, corporate
Yeah.
speech. So, I see that you are steadfast. I see that you are extremely witty. You're very creative. You know how to create all these things. You're a boss. So to see you saying, well, I don't know what could happen, and this and that happened to me, and so said this, and they stepped on my toe and didn't tell me I was pretty that day. Tell yourself you're pretty that day. Okay? Put a band-aid on the toe. Keep it moving. And so those are the things that also I tell myself when I feel like I'm having a pity party, which we all do from time to time. It's like, okay, you're allowed to express yourself, have those feelings, but just don't stay there. Keep getting up, keep moving forward. Especially when you have children and you have other people that are looking up to you, you have to. And I think one of the main things that we deal with as Blacks in America, this is just my personal opinion, has a lot to do with how we have been conditioned and how we have been educated in school when you are told as a child that your history started at slavery when that's where it ended, whereas we have our Caribbean and especially our African brothers and sisters that are literally speaking those affirmations and speaking in those parables and really living that, knowing that we were royalty. We are royalty. And it doesn't just mean that's not about money or wealth or, having a crown on. Like, we literally are royalty. Like, when I went to Africa and saw that people were still keeping the indigenous ways with bowls and going around, would you like some soup today? People eating out of the same bowl, people kissing one another and not being over sexualized. It was just a love. which I wish we could get back to, and
Mm-hmm.
really, really build. And we wouldn't have this problem of the woe is me and always feeling like we're broken and having this crab mentality and scared because lyrics gonna start a juice business. So what am I gonna do with my juice business? We all can have a juice business.
Mm-hmm.
Your juice business ain't got nothing to do with mine. I'm Jackie. You could be lyric, whatever. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And that's just
Yeah.
an example. But I really wish that we could get a hold on that so that we could really prosper. And I see the shift and the transition. It is happening, but slowly but
It's slow.
surely. Yeah.
I can't. It's interesting you say that. I got a couple of things on what you said. So, like you said, over in Africa and all the foreign countries, I can say they are grateful, they're humble, they're happy because the little that they do have, and they are developing, because they go and steal the resources from over there and bring them over here. But the little that they have, like you said, is community. It's unity. They're passing around. They're asking, "You want soup?" They still carry the bowls on their head, and they're just the happy people. Like get along, no problem. You know. Um, Another thing you said about, when you gave that example about the juice business, you got one. Just because I got one doesn't mean anything. And a lot of people don't. I don't think it clicks to them that it's enough out here for everybody to eat.
We can
Every
all eat.
Everybody can eat. You support everybody. I made a statement with my last guest. It's like if your home girl do lashes, sell lashes, do a good job. Why aren't you supporting them? You go over here to the Asians. No offense or anything, no shade against the Asians or Koreans or whatever. But you go over there and spend your money with them. But you want to spend your money with your homegirl. And just like when he had my last guest, Freddie D, he was telling one of his friends that they like what they like, but you put your brand on it. He put his brand on it. He would not buy it. He would not support him. So I think, how can I put this? It's kind of, I'm trying to see how can I put this. I think in order for us to, if we support each other, regardless, you got a juice business, this person got, it's enough to go around and support because your market may be different than somebody else. Totally different markets. You know what I'm saying? Totally, you may have a different process when you do your juice versus this person how they do their juice. But in the
Right.
same sense, it's all black business owned and it's all support. You need community support. And with that, the economy would be much better if we put our dollars into our black businesses. Only 1% of the money that's spent in this world goes to black businesses. Only 1%. Our money
So,
don't our money don't even circulate like more than one time in our own communities. We have I think, right, as I know of one black owned corner store that's been in the community, and that's over in Boynton off of Cherry Hill. Only everything else, the Arabs are buying up Africa, everything, or the Chinese are buying up everything.
mhm.
Beauty supply stores, we don't have no black beauty supply stores. It's hard, it's hard to find one, and
It's difficult.
I
Yeah, it's
can't.
difficult. And even when I found them, they still have to create allies,
With
with Asian in order to establish that store and keep the beauty supply open. It's very difficult, but it has to do with the history of America
Yeah.
and how it was built on the back, literally, of our ancestors. And that's a lot to recover from
Yes.
when unfortunately, we don't have the best history with money management and keeping our credit up to par. I'm not talking about all. I'm just generally speaking.
Yes.
That is the truth, and so it makes it harder sometimes to obtain those loans. Or even if your credit is up to par, they are apt to give it to so and so and so and so before they give it to Lyric or Jacquia for our little startup business. Absolutely.
Yes.
There isn't a problem. There isn't oppression here. There's no doubt about that. But all we can do is continue to build, and I will say that's the self-development. Working on yourself, loving yourself, so that you are not fearful.
Yes.
And I'm saying contribute to that crab mentality. Well, no, I'm not selling
Yes.
her. so and so, I'd rather go over here. So they'll go and get bad service. They'll go to a restaurant and get bad service, have the waitress not even look them in the eye or acknowledge them before they go and get a nice plate from you.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, and that goes on so many levels. Like you said, they go get bad service, or they won't listen to this person, and that's. I think we do financial investment. Me and my business partner, financial. We have a page called "Building Your Financial House." We offer financial advice for free. And then there's some services we offer that if you want to start an investment account, learn more, get your financial needs analysis done to kind of show you where all your money is going down to the penny. And I said, it's crazy how people won't listen to us, but they'll go listen to another race because they feel like they know more. Where exactly we're trying to teach you because you're our people. We're trying to put you ahead. We're trying to put you on game, stuff that you didn't learn in school. They don't teach in school. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, what makes their information greater than our information if we translate in the same information?
These have been ingrained for so many moons.
Yeah.
Ingrained that, I won't use the slogan, but I'll go ahead and use the slogan.
Use it.
Say, white is right. The white is right. So the lighter, the brighter, that must be right. And that has to do with a lot of things of how people respect someone's opinion or guidance, or even it makes that people choose. It's so much that goes into it because we've always been taught, tuck in, don't look, don't look up, look down, they must be right, and so we have to overcome all that damage. But what I will say is I'm very, very happy from what I'm seeing, especially from the younger generation. They're not afraid. I will say some may go about it to me, maybe not in the most productive way, but I am happy of the fact that people are educating themselves and they're making some changes. And I'm seeing all these business owners and people are obtaining things that they never thought they could obtain. So
I think
progress.
Progress. I think COVID was a big eye opener. It was a big eye opener that allowed this to happen. With people losing their jobs and everything, getting sick, unable to put food on the table, unable to pay bills. I think this is an eye opener to say, like, look, America really don't care about y'all. They can care less. You got these millionaires banking off of COVID when COVID hit and skyrocketed. But outside of this, COVID allowed, I say, a couple of things. COVID presented a platform to expose America of its racism. That's one. Number two, COVID also made people sit down at the table with their families, spend more time with their family, communicate with their families, because people was doing whatever they want to do. Kids weren't eating dinner with family at the table. You got son over here in their room, daughter over here in that room. And a third thing, Black businesses. I've seen the growth of Black business owners, entrepreneurs during COVID. Even Forex. Forex is the Forex exchange, high frequency trade. It's a lot of our people, my generation, millennials, all in Forex, making money, millionaires off of that. So COVID has, I can't say that about COVID with the positive aspect of all the businesses, Black businesses. Like you say, yourself, you generated a business during COVID. So I can say that was like a plus.
It was definitely a
plus for COVID, So it kind of made people like really dig deep and get off their butt and say, okay, I can't do a 9 to 5. I got to find something to do. I got to get it together. So I look at it in that aspect as well.
You have to. I had someone, a couple people. I guess because I'm constantly promoting my juice business and working out and just, that's how I keep myself accountable. And my family is out of state. So that's also a way to communicate with them. They're like, did you quit your job? Did you get on 8 hours? No, sweetheart. Still have the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But I'm making it happen. I have to. And so, sometimes people will say, I had someone else say, well, I was worried about you. I was so worried about you. I know you're a single mom. And in my head, I got a little tickle. I giggle to myself because I'm looking at this person. I'm like, during COVID, uh, I was able to start a business. I was able to purchase some real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID, post COVID, was really on my little travel. Total single mom was really going all over the place. Passport stamped up. Not
Yeah.
not to blow my own horn, but I will blow it. But I mean, at the end of the day, I see some couples that can't even make it happen.
Yeah.
And what I'm proud about is not just myself, but looking around and looking at other
Mm-hmm.
women that share my reflection that have
Exactly.
gone far. I'm talking about really making it happen.
Yeah.
So, we don't have time to have pity parties.
Yeah, and that whole
Yeah.
single mom thing, they need to get off that because it's a lot of successful single mom. The kids doing
Hey,
good, so you know it is what it is. Get off that,
it is.
whatever that is. Like you said, it's
Mm.
some couples, it's couples, married couples that can't even, do what it
You better
is that
say
some
it
singers.
again.
So,
You better say
I
it.
yeah,
Two of y'all can't make it work. Y'all sit and look at the wrong side. You ain't even feel
yeah,
sorry for me, sweetheart.
exactly. If you ain't feeling sorry for yourself, don't feel sorry for I. For real.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back to you momentarily.
All right, so Kashai, give me your take on the fall for me.
Okay, so this is definitely breakfast. It's sweet and it's just what I needed. So I recommend this, and I'm gonna take a whole bunch of the other ones too because they sound just as good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
Much
welcome.
appreciated.
Thank you.
This juice smells so good and it's so fresh.
All right, welcome back. If you did not catch the beginning of the segment, you can always rewind back to the front. And again, we have Mr. Kill Midget with us this evening. So let's jump back into it. You know, I talk to people about their comfort zone a lot. I have a cousin. He's in his comfort zone. We had a long conversation, and I talked to him about procrastination. He was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be on my job for 30 years." And the way he was talking, I was like, "Okay, well, maybe you need to do this. You need to start back dreaming. You need to do this." And so when he be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it," I'm like, "You're gonna be working for that company 30 years." Cause when he has a tone about him, like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, okay." Anytime he say that, I be like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. We we done. We can't even continue to talk about it because right now you're showing me that you're not gonna that one little statement is showing me that you're not gonna do it because he's in his comfort zone. He's content where he is, where he know he can do more. So a lot of times when people are in their comfort zone, there is no growth from my perspective. I feel like you're complacent and you should be doing more. So has there been any time or point in your life where um, you've just been in your comfort zone, you've just been sitting there, and you knowing that you can do more, but you're not doing more? And if so, at what point did you say, "Okay, Jay, it's time to get up. It's time to make this move. It's time to do something different. I could be doing more." Talk to me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I feel like we spoke about comfort zone previously. But yeah, in reference to being in a comfort zone, there's probably been different times in my life, absolutely, that I've been stuck in a comfort zone and I had to uproot myself and just like moving, you have to move forward. I would say the most recent, not necessarily a comfort zone because I've been on this, the evolution of Jacquia,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Talk
For
to
the past couple,
hold on. Give me a little evolution on Jacquia a little bit. Give me a little insight on that. I'm curious.
evolution of Jacquia is just being comfortable in my own skin. Not worrying about what this person is going to say or is it going to make this family member uncomfortable. You know, just being who I am, being very authentic within myself. And that's where I am in life. And if it means that there are some separations, then you know what? I'm letting the pieces fall where they may, and that has been a huge benefit to me. It has been, I know I keep saying it, it's been very healing. It has brought me solace. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot more calm than I used to be. And I think that's very, very important, is to live in your truth, walk in your truth, speak it, and be okay with it, and own it. Don't bury your head in the sand, or like you said before, always have to sprinkle sugar. You know what I mean? If you have something on the floor, or you have some trash there, even if you sprinkle a little bit of sugar on it, it's still trash. Say what it is, you know? Say what it is and move forward. And that's where I am with my life, just being truthful with myself, being truthful with others, but at the same time, doing so with kindness.
Okay.
As much as possible. I'm not perfect by any means. Stumble, fall, hurt people maybe at times, apologize for it. Same thing has happened to me. But where I am is I really, really want to be authentic and very intentional with my movements.
Authenticity. I think that's the best part. The be true to yourself and being the best version of yourself as possible. If you're not authentic and you're not true to yourself, I feel like you only hurting yourself. If you have to act this way so this person won't say this, that, and the third, then that's a problem, because then you're making yourself unhappy because you're trying to keep other people happy, and you're not happy. So I do agree with you with being true to yourself, being authentic, whether it costs you to be far apart from family. Sometimes family you gotta deal with them from a distance. Sometimes family could be your downfall as well.
Right.
So you pretty much got to do what's gonna keep keep your mental sane, keep yourself have a peace of mind, that keep you kind of like balanced and level without all the extraness going on. So I definitely agree with you with the authenticity. Oh, look at that. I said that right. I thought I was going to chop that word up.
Authenticity. Yes.
So you talked in the beginning of that last one, you talked a little bit about, not worrying about what this person, that person has to say. So I want to talk a little bit on dimming your light. A lot of times dim their light for several reasons. It could be because, number one, they don't want the attention, which they naturally get the attention. Number two, they don't want this person to feel a certain way, or they feel like this person looking at them a certain way because they just been them. And from my perspective, just like observing, because I sit back and observe a lot of people, I pay attention to how they move, I pick up on their energy. People going to talk about you regardless. Whether you're doing good or bad, they're going to talk about you. And I feel like it's a personal issue with themselves that they need to deal with deep down in themselves. If they envy other people or they have this issue with this person for no reason. So have you ever found yourself dimming your light? If so, why? If I could ask that question, and how did you make it feel? How did it make you feel? And at what point did you realize, like, okay, why am I dimming my light? Or if you didn't know you had a light to shine.
Ooh, woo! Yes. Because we're talking about perseverance and moving forward and being steadfast. But sometimes when you're trying to get there, like you said, you get stuck in your comfort zone. Sometimes you may dim your light, whether it be in the corporate world. For me, also being in an arena around many artists, being raised by an artist. Woo! Yes, I found myself dimming my light because sometimes I was at a point in time where I did not feel like arm wrestling. But hey, I'm getting up in the morning now, and I'm lifting weights, and I'm doing what I can. So I'm like, at this point in my life, we can arm wrestle. You might not win. I'm not dimming my life for anyone. I am not dimming my life for anyone. If you are uncomfortable in your own skin, if you feel that I'm doing too much, or if you're unhappy because I'm not doing this, anymore, while you sit up there and laundry list everything and so forth, if that is bothering you, so be it. Like they say, que sera, sera. What will be, will be. So at this point in time, no, not dimming my light, but there have been several times in my life, yes, where I have dimmed my light either because maybe I felt broken, maybe I just didn't have the energy to go back and forth, or perhaps, felt less than. That's the same thing, I guess, aligning with being broken. But those are things that I think many people go through, whether they want to admit it or not. But I think we've all been in that place. But you don't need to dim your light. But in the same breath, you also don't want to step on other people. I'm all about uplifting, and while I'm coming up, if you want to join forces and we can both go forward. But like you said before, about the separations and sometimes having to cut the ties, everyone can't go with you.
Mm-hmm.
There was something that I read the other day. It said you can't have butterfly speech or butterfly talk with caterpillar people. And that's true. Everyone doesn't see what you see, and sometimes you don't even need to tell them what your vision is. Because sometimes you have people come in, well, I got a cousin that did that, I can help you with that, or so and so. You might not want to do that. You might not want to do that, so and so. Sometimes you just need to do it.
Yeah.
Period. Everyone thinks their way is the only way. There are so many routes and so many ways to get to a destination, and that's where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Jackie or Jacquia. She's moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's I'm gonna use this one of my guests who was saying this. The playbook that you was handed may not work for you as it worked for others. So you have your own playbook to take you where you need to go. So I definitely understand that. Okay, I like that. So let me ask you this. What is something that you know now that you wish somebody would have told you at 20? Or what is something that you wish someone would have told you at 20 years old?
Woo. Hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but you will be all right. You're going to be okay. That might sound cliche, but literally, when I was 20, that's what I would tell my 20-year-old self.
Okay.
Hold on. Life is not going to be perfect. Hills and valleys and everything. Never lose your faith.
Mm-hmm.
Never lose hope. Always look up and know that greatness lies ahead. Okay? You control, I'm not going to say I myself control all of my destiny, because, my creator provides for me each and every day. And I think that speaks to, I think we were talking about that before when I was talking about the single mother talk. And people
Yes.
oh, are you okay? So miracle. Are you still working? Are you still okay? I'm doing pretty good. Actually.
Yes.
I'm doing better than most. And I'm hoping that other people do, keep continuing, striving and moving forward. But it's not just me alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's my creator, it's what has been poured into me, okay, by my environment, my family, my parents, everything. So I'm not done it alone. But to go back to what your original question was, the bottom line is just that it will be okay.
It will be okay. Simple as that.
Simple.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say a couple of words, and I want you to close us up. But before I say that, I see you got a set of Junes back there. You play the Junes?
I play those dum-dums now.
Okay.
I do what I can. I play those dum-dums.
Those are actually my favorite to play. And the craziest thing is, I only use 2. I only need to use 2. The 3 don't work for me, but the 2, yeah. I do too. I'm trying to get Chris to give me his. I'm still working on him.
You still working on that?
I'm still working on him with that, because they just sitting at the house. So
hey, people collect cars, people can collect films, people can collect paintings, freedom, but I know what you're saying. It's like, oh, let me get those if you're not gonna use them.
Yeah,
He may have some plans. He's an artist, he may have some plans.
Yeah, I know last time I talked to him, he was working on his acoustic guitar. He was saying he was going to start his acoustic guitar. So I hope he hurry up and pick that up. Start getting them.
There was a point in time where I wasn't playing them much.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. Why I was not playing the drums at that point in time? I was working.
Okay.
Working a whole lot of overtime and doing this and that and the third, making sure I kept my head above water. But hey, now it's time.
I gotcha. Okay. So we're going to go to the wrap up. Now listen to me, and then I want you to close us up. All right. So what you go through is only temporarily. And what you go through is not who you need to be, or it is not who you are. Let me say that. But it is making you become the person you need to be.
True. I agree with everything that you said. Am I supposed to do a recap, or am I supposed to respond to this? Or no? Yes. Everything that you go through molds you. I will say, when you've gone through some times that were a bit difficult, or you felt like, life was just weighing you down, that doesn't have to define you. You can change the narrative. You know what I mean? You can come up out of all of that and shine bright like you're supposed to. And I that's what I want for myself. That's what I want for other people. Just to know that you can overcome anything. But you really just have to have that faith. But also, like the scripture says, faith without works is dead. You have to do your part. You can't just sit there and think you're going to get everything by osmosis. Everything is just going to come to you, or you're going to manifest everything. No, you got to get up and work.
Yes.
It's just like a car. You might get it and it's clean, but you have to maintain it. You have to get the oil changed. If you don't, you're going to have problems. So it's the same thing with yourself and with your life. Maintenance.
Okay, maintenance. All right, you guys, that concludes the episode for this evening. Thank you for being a part of the segment this evening. Where can the people find you on social media?
Well, I'm Jacquia Midgett on Facebook. I prefer, if you're looking for the juices, that you go to Jackie Juice. That is JAZZY JACQUI on Instagram. And, I'll give you the information, so they'll have the links, the flyer, and so forth.
All right, you guys, the information is going to be right there in the information segment. When you click down in the box, it'll be right down there. This is a peace of mind where I can't even close it right. This has been another episode of the Basis of Perseverance, where the way you handle your situation and circumstances is key. Just because you have a down day doesn't mean you have to be down. You have to step above your circumstances or situations. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Absolutely.